problem with front load washing machines. So they get that moldy smell, and they also get some mold built up on the door boot. And a couple things you can do to get rid of it. One is you can replace this gasket, this door boot. Today we'll cover how you can easily remove the door boot and replace it. Not very difficult. You do need a special tool though for getting the back spring clamp on. So we'll cover how to do that. We'll show you that part, put it in a link in the description below. One way to avoid having a mold problem is whenever you finish doing the wash, to leave your door open a little bit. Doesn't have to be all the way open, but even a little bit's good. And that'll help to get rid of the extra moisture that builds up, because the moisture is the main thing that causes the mold. And these are such good machines that when you close the door, it's so watertight that the moisture stays too long and the mold spores have some food. They actually eat the extra detergent, and it's nice and moist and dark in there. So it's perfect environment for the mold. Makes your clothes smell bad, and it looks bad inside the machine. So something we want to avoid. And today we'll cover how to get this old one out, and we're going to soak it in bleach overnight to see if we can get rid of the smell and the stains. And if that doesn't work, we'll go ahead and replace it. So we'll show you how to take it out, how to clean it, and how to put it back in. And if need be, maybe put in a new one. So let's get started. Before we do that though, if you get a moment, just press the subscribe button below and the little bell notification, and we'll send you new videos every time we make a new video about this machine and other washers and dryers and dishwashers. You'll get that right away, and you'll have information on how to fix things on your own at home and save a lot of money. So we're going to unplug the machine first, and next thing we'll do is just take a flathead screwdriver, standard head screwdriver. We're going to reach in underneath the metal ring, and we are just going to pry it back. And once you pry it back, you pull it towards you. Maybe use your other hand too, and that ring will come off. And that ring has a spring in there, so that makes it somewhat expandable. We just got our screwdriver in underneath it and pulled it back. So now I'd like you guys to peel it back from its metal surrounding. And you'll notice that up in the upper left-hand corner, there's a couple of attachments that we want to get loose. Show you guys how to do that. So on this washer dryer model, it's actually probably going to be a little bit easier for us if we can get the front panel off, because we've got some things we have to disconnect up at the top that most models don't have, but the washer dryer model does have. So to get it off, we have to release a couple of screws here and here. We have to release these two, and we have to release some hiding underneath here. So it's going to take a little bit of disassembly. Let's do this one first. So we're just going to get this panel off. And we got to get rid of a couple of screws here. Pull this open. Let's get rid of that screw right there. And let's get rid of that screw down there. So just take the top off by removing the two Phillips head screws in the back and pulling the top panel back, lifting it off. And I do want to get off this control panel so I can get to the screws underneath. So I'm going to pull this back, push down on this button to get the soap drawer out. And I want to get rid of these two screws here. And then there's a couple on the other side too. So remember, these are a little bit longer, and these are stainless steel. I have these two on the back. And over here. Okay, goes out. Got it. And we're going to get the controller out of there. I'll pull back a little bit on this one. Pull back on this one. And a little bit on this one. And lift this up and out. And that's good because it's going to let us get to a screw there and a screw there to help us to take off the front panel. So we're going to pull that one. And that's like a machine screw. And one over here. The machine screws just have a finer thread to them. There we go. Okay. Those two out. All right. Then there are a couple down here. So we want to get this panel off too. There's one there. And there's one hiding underneath this hose right here. There we go. So we should be able to get this panel off now. That'll expose a couple of other screws. Okay, just pried back on this panel. Pull that out. Now you can see there's a screw there in one of the other corner. Help us get off this front panel. Let's do those screws. There we go. All right, lastly, for the front panel, let's get out these two that hold on the door lock. All right. Notice they look a little bit different. The door lock ones are stainless steel. That one. And now we should be able to lift up and remove the whole front panel along with the door. Because it has a door in it, it is a little heavy. You have to make sure that this is all released. Should be able to get it off. Okay, so we have all our connections disconnected. Pull this up and out. Lift up a little bit. There we go. Okay, front panel's off. It's going to make it a lot easier to do the next part. All right, we got to remove these two little spring clamps right here. And these are kind of cool. You can use needle nose pliers, but these are kind of fun for doing spring clamps. So lift that up a little bit, release. Yeah, there we go. Lift it up. Okay. I'm going to take off this little cap. Remember, this is on the left-hand side. Cap comes off. I'll leave the spring clamp on there so I remember that one. And then I'm going to lift this hose up. And I'm going to push this thing down and get it out of the door gasket. I want to save it because I'm going to put it back in later. Remember, it points, this chute points, it's a little clogged actually, but points in toward the washing machine. So we got that out. And now we want to get out a Phillips head screw here. You get this clamp off that holds this up to the fan housing. So we got one Phillips head screw here. Okay, that clamp should come loose, I think. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Use a flathead screwdriver to get in between the clamp to separate it. There we go. I got the clamp separated. Now I should be able to pull down and get this boot off of where it was connected. Getting close to getting this all the way off. All right, that's good. Okay, now we're going to pull this back spring clamp off, and as you guys can see this on camera, I'm going to get a flathead screwdriver. So now we're going to use one of these tools. This is for the back spring clamp on the LG washing machines, and we'll put a description in the link below if you want to order one of these. I think it's almost impossible to get these clamps on and off without this tool. All right, we got the spring clamp has let go finally. Should be able to get it out now. And pull this out. We do have one drain clamp here underneath we want to get out. So we're just gonna dislocate this one. Move it down a little bit. There we go. Now we can move this one down. Get that one off. Okay, and we can start to just pull this boot off. There we go. It's coming out. This is the side connection. This is this side connection. We're good. Pull it down off of this one. Okay, we got that out. Got a little clamp up in there. Spring clamp out. That one back. Needs to go. All right, so the next thing to do, you just clean all of this area. This rim nice and clean. And we're going to take this one and I'm going to soak it in some really concentrated bleach solution overnight. Try to get rid of some of these bad bleach spots. First we'll just rinse this off really good and then we'll put it in the bleach. Okay guys, we have that boot has been scrubbed really good. It's now sitting in some very hot water. We're going to let it sit for one full day. I'm going to add in some bleach, a cup and a half, and we'll let it just sit in there and let the bleach do its job. I want to show you guys what that boot looks like now. It was really bad before, but this is after 2 days of soaking in bleach in water. There's no scrubbing, but it basically looks like it's new. This was really messed up before. It was very dirty, had black mold everywhere, and now it's pretty concentrated bleach, but it is looking brand new. So you don't really need to get a new door boot if your door boot has a ton of mold on it. You can just soak it in bleach. Sometimes though, your boot might get a little tear in it along the perimeter right here, and then it can leak water. So then you would need a new boot, or you might have a tear down at the bottom here. But if it's just really got that bad mold, just use the bleach for about 2 days and you'll be good to go. Really impressed with that. No scrubbing needed. And man, it looks like it's brand new. All the mold's gone. And even the dirt that was on there got loosened up. So it's ready for the being reinstalled. So that's a real good way to get rid of that black mold and to not have to do any scrubbing. There is a product that is like a bleach gel you can put on. I bet that would work, because that would just keep the bleach on the mold area for maybe, a couple of days without drying out, and might have the same effect. But so far, just removing this thing and then keeping it in a 1-to-1 water bleach solution is just incredible. It looks like it's brand new. Got this door boot really clean now by using the bleach for 2 days, and we're going to now install it. We have to get this ring here over the tub, and it's a little awkward because of the thing that's in the way here. So we're going to be removing that temporarily. All we got to do to get this section out, that's the one that connects to that part of the boot, the upper part. Just take out these 2 Phillips head screws here. On this side. There we go. And that just comes out. So I'm going to pull this out. Put it off to the side. It does have a moisture sensor in there, so we're going to just pull that out of its boot so we can get this out of the way. So we're about to put on the boot, and we just have to, well, we have an opportunity to clean out this little drain hose. There's some hair caught in there. And see if there's anything else we can get out of there while we're here. Okay, it looks good. Okay, so we have taken off this piece that was kind of in the way, and now we're going to install the boot on this plastic rim here. And before we do that, we're going to take that door boot, we're going to put some liquid detergent inside this rim all the way around. This is the inside rim. This is the one that's going to go over this plastic on the tub, and that, by putting that detergent on there, it just makes it kind of slippery and goes on a lot easier. So that's a good trick. Let's do that next. We're just going to use some liquid Tide, put some on my fingers. And now I'm just pushing that stuff in all the way around the rim. And we're going to do this a second time when we put on the front of the door boot. Kind of the same idea, just to make it go on a little bit easier when we put the spring clamp on. So we'll put lubrication actually on the spring clamp. But when we do the inside one, you want to put it on inside this groove, and that'll make it go on a lot easier. I'll put a little more on my fingers. Any kind of liquid detergent would work because it's got some soap in there that makes it slippery. Okay, I've got that along with the entire perimeter. And now I'm going to put the upper part of this I'll put a little bit on the inside here too, because I'm going to have that go on later, get that lubricated. So I'm going to take this arrow here, it's going to go toward the top. I'll start at the top. I'm going to work this onto the tub by putting, you guys can see it, this part over the plastic rim. Okay, now I'm going to go to the side and push down. Do the same thing, just feeding it over that rim all the way around. Just pushing it in with my thumb. You kind of feel it almost like snap into position when you get it in there. You got to make sure I keep this pointing toward the top, so I'm going to slide this a little bit to my left. Get that nice and vertical. That's good. Okay. So I've worked down about to here. I'm going to go back to this side, do a little bit more. So I'm down lower now on this side. I'll go to this side. Go a little further. I'm using 2 thumbs. Push, using a fair amount of pressure. You feel it really click into place once it goes in. It's good. You'll notice there are on the tub a little arrow, if you can see it on camera, and then there's a arrow on the boot that lines up pretty good. Same on this side. That's just going to make sure that that's really in the middle. So next thing, we'll put in our spring clamp to hold this in. So there's the 2 spring clamps, right? There's one for the front, one for the back. The one for the back, the one we're using, has this hook right here. And you can choose where you want this to show up. Could be on the right side or the left side, either side you'd like to do. And you need to use that special tool. I'll put a link in the description below, but it's this one. There's also one that is not bent, it's just straight. That works fine too. This one's really designed for if you don't take the front panel off, you can kind of get in at a good angle. But you don't need, this is like $70, the other one's probably $20. So any of the LG spring tools will work for you. And the way that works is one end will go here at the top, a hook in, and then the other end goes underneath this hook. And as you compress it, you're able to line those up. And then when you let go, they're hooked together, and that's what holds it. Holds it really strong. We're gonna put a little lubrication on this one too, so that it can slide easier. It makes the installation easier. Same thing, we'll use the liquid detergent around the perimeter. Makes it a little bit easier to go on. All right, and then I'm going to put this on here on my left side, so it's a little closer to me. I got to get this over the top here, first step, so it can sit down in a groove. So that looks good. I'm going to bring the other side of it down here inside that groove. Put that in the groove. Get the spring over here. Move you guys over a little bit. So I'm going to get one underneath the spring. Get the other end inside the hook. Try to show this to you guys. So we just push this in using a standard head screwdriver to get it inside that channel. We checked all the way around, it looks good. It's all the way in. And now we just got to hook this one back into there and put the spring clamp on. So you can just push this back on. We already cleared out all the junk that was in there. You can take your pliers and squeeze in on the hose clamp. Bring it back up. And I'm going to bring this one back up too to hold the black hose on. I moved it down a little bit when I first put it on. So they're right next to each other. That's good. All right, cool. So, got that all hooked up. We're gonna put that little adapter back in there. So this inlet piece had a little bit of stuff caught in there. We gotta get that out first. So needle nose pliers. Still some stuff caught in there, so we're gonna reach in with this one and get it. There we go. Bunch of junk, bunch of hair. Okay. So we know the water can flow through there good. So we're gonna put some liquid detergent on this just so it can fit up into that rubber easier. You gotta make sure this funnel piece is pointing in toward the tub and not out when I go back in. You push it all the way back in there, as far as it'll go. It's fully seated. Now we're gonna put a little cap on this one. Okay, we got the cap back on. Has a little spring clamp. I'm gonna put this one back on. Before I do though, I noticed there was some hair caught up in there too, so we're gonna get that out of there. There we go. Okay, we'll put that one back on. And now we'll put the hose clamp back on. Okay, so we're doing good. We got the door boot back on. We got the clamp on. Got this piece back on. We have the drain tube back on. So now we're going to do this piece here at the top. And that's where that hot, moist air gets pulled up into the fan. Okay, I'm going to put this ducting back into the top of that rubber boot and make sure that this moisture sensor housing is pointing to my right when I'm facing the machine from the front. Push that down in there. All right, so we put that in here from the front, got it back into position. We got to put that metal clamp around there next and then add that screw. And when you put this in, you can see this part of the bracket should be pointing up. See, it's all lined up. I'll put that screw in next. Okay, we're just tightening up that screw now that holds that clamp. All right, so we got the clamp back on there nice and tight. We put the moisture sensor back in to its rubber boot. We're doing good. I think now it's time to put on the front panel. Okay guys, we're just going to put in that screw and that screw that holds the top part of this cowling back up to the heating element and fan housing. Just going to tighten that one up. Tighten that one up. Got it. Okay, very good. The front panel next. We're all set to do that. We're just going to lift it up. And it's going to slide down on this one. There's an indexing pin there. Slide down on this one, indexing pin, and we'll put in a screw here, here, and at the bottom. We'll also have this lock, the lock, our door lock go back in. Actually goes this way. All right, let's do that next. Okay, so I'm just going to set this in position. Line things up here. Pins lined up, indexing pins. The screws we're going to use are the machine screws. They have the really fine threads because those are going into metal. So put two at the top. The other side. There we go, and two at the bottom. Two. Got it. All right, we'll do the door lock next. Reach through because the boot is not connected in the front yet. Lift up on the door lock. Get it up where we want it. Flip it around here. There we go. Black side is towards you. Get that piece in, and now we're going to add those two screws. Got it. Okay, now we're going to put on the front of the door boot. Rubber part's going to go over this metal rim. So to do that, we'll just kind of get it out in front of the metal rim first, all the way around. And then we're going to use two hands, lift up and put it over that rim and work your way all the way around. The other side. I've got the lubrication all the way around. It's nice and slippery. So I'm going to have the spring at the bottom. I'm going to start by putting this into the rubber groove at the top. Put it on the sides. And I have a thumb over at about 4 o'clock and then one at about 8 o'clock. I'm going to push down. Just have a standard head screwdriver ready. Kind of doing the same thing, but I'll use the screwdriver to take the place of one of my thumbs. Spring at the bottom. Get the screwdriver to go in so I can guide this thing down using one thumb. Down low enough to get into that groove. Yeah, so by using this, sliding it down, we're able to get it in. So now, everything should close fine. Yeah, it looks good. Door's looking good. Okay, next thing is we'll go ahead and put on this bottom panel. That'll be easy. Okay, let's do the bottom panel. We're gonna put these openings in the plastic onto these 3 metal tabs. And first, we're going to put this rubber drain tube through the hole. Get these onto their metal tabs. We're going to push this in until it clicks. And now we're going to add some screws here. Show you guys. One there. And one below it. Okay, got that. We put this into its bracket here. Close that. Okay. Let's do the upper control panel. All right, we're going to put the control panel back. It's got those plastic tabs. They're going to go into the metal slots. Let's do that. Top. Okay, we got it set in there. We're just going to push in so this clicks. Push in until this clicks. Got it. And we're going to add in those 2 stainless steel screws, those longer ones, and then 2 short ones on the back. Okay, let's tighten up these. That one. That one. Put it in the back. This one. There we go. Okay, now we can put the top back on. All right, so these little tabs are going to go into the slots. Just going to kind of wiggle things into position. And we're going to put 2 screws on the back. Flip side screws. Okay, we got those tightened up. We'll put the detergent drawer back on. I'm just going to fit it in those slots. Push it back. And we're done. Let's give it a little test. Okay, we got it plugged back in. So we're going to go power. Get all our lights coming back on. I know in the video it looks like they're going crazy, but it's just, they're actually all solid. Press this one. We can turn it any cycle that we want. And these are not actually flashing, it's just the way the video is coming out. Now start our cycle. Very good. Watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com.